Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Sandra Goldtree, and I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. And first, I want to congratulate and welcome each of you personally for joining and participating in Crush Your Sugar Cravings 3-day challenge. I consider this the perfect springboard to resetting and getting back on track with your weight loss and your health goals. More importantly, to begin building a healthier relationship with food. All right. And so, as you are chiming in, as people are tuning in, say hello to me, and give me a shout out. And I am going to get a window set up so that I am able to hopefully see your names, and I can respond to you by name. So I got that set up. So we're good and ready to go. So again, as I see you tuning in, please say hello to me. We're going to spend 3 days together. So, and hopefully more, but we're going to spend these next 3 days together. So I'm really excited about this challenge. I consider it the perfect springboard for resetting and getting you back on track with your weight loss and your health goals. And more importantly, we want to build healthier relationships with food. And this is also an opportunity to jumpstart your weight loss and to gain control, start the process of gaining control over your sugar cravings, okay? And I am excited. This is my first challenge for 2023. This is how I like to kick things off. And I'm even more excited to have each and every one of you join me on this epic ride as we start the new year off strong, okay? And kudos to each of you for not giving up on your weight loss and health goals, because I know it gets frustrating. We try things, we do things, and sometimes we just don't get the desired results that we're looking for. And so it is frustrating, and sometimes you feel defeated. So I definitely get that. This is a new season, okay? This is all about creating a lifestyle of change, okay? And my hope is that we have a different plan this year, okay? Not weight loss or exercise resolutions, but instead a personalized plan. And that plan ultimately should include healthy weight loss that stays off, effective exercise for optimal health and mobility, and you want to promote a lifestyle of self-care. You're going to hear me talk a lot about self-care, okay? That's one of the things that I feel is very, very important in helping and feeding into your weight loss goals. And more importantly, this personalized plan is effective for life, okay? It's not just for 2023 or not just for this quarter, but for the long haul, okay? And all without feeling deprived with all these extreme restrictions, and you don't have to really give up your favorite foods, okay? And so I am going to check for some comments just to see if anybody has chimed in. Let's see here. So let me check some comments here. So as you're tuning in, definitely please say hello to me. And before I go into my blood pressure, my weight loss journey, I want to kind of give a little snippet about who I am, so you guys can get a feel for my journey a little bit, is have you ever ditched sugar from your diet? So if you've ever made any attempt to eliminate sugar, or just said you needed to eliminate this particular sweet or this particular food for any reason, for losing weight or for a health, to have better health, say yes or no. So simply just post yes or no. And I'm going to put that here in the banner. So just simply post yes or no if you've ever felt that way. Okay. And so the purpose of me hosting challenges throughout the year is really directly tied to my passion for helping people become the best versions of themselves, and in a healthy, sustainable manner without taking extreme measures, okay, such as cutting out food groups or going extreme amount of hours without eating, 7+ hours without eating every day. And we all really do have a common goal, and our common goals are to get beyond those weight loss plateaus, and we get at a weight and we get stuck and we can't get past that point, and it's very frustrating. We want to fit into our clothes better. And ultimately, we want to boost our confidence while developing some life skills in the process, like discipline and commitment and goal setting and planning and consistency, because that's what it's all about. You notice I didn't say anything about perfection, because this is not about perfection. We are human, and we are going to have our moments, right? And that's just to name a few. And so if anybody relates to any of this, please just simply post relate. Just post relate if any of this resonates with you or makes sense to you so far. And so at the end of the day, I'm committed to helping people move forward towards meeting their health and their weight loss goals and to become successful. And so last year, my motto was breaking food strongholds in 2022. And that was really about the mindless eating, the emotional eating, the stress eating, stuff that's real. We're human. These things happen a lot. And this year, you're going to hear me talking about my new motto is creating a lifestyle of self-care. Okay, so that's what you're going to hear a lot about in 2023. And so let's jump into the agenda for tonight. Okay, so this is a quick live. I won't take too much of your time, but the itinerary for tonight is we're going to go over this pre-challenge assessment form. Okay, so you will start to see that really soon. It's going to come to your email. We're going to step through the guidebook, which is your roadmap. It's your roadmap for these next 3 days, or for starting next Tuesday for the 3-day challenge. And it also includes the scheduled event. So you'll know which day I'm talking about which topic. We're going to talk about the timing of meals, okay? Because you will notice that there's not a specific time for when you should have your breakfast and your lunches and your snacks and things like that, because it is going to differ for each person. And then we're going to talk about how the challenge will run. So you'll see posts with daily check-ins in the morning and in the afternoon. And so there's an opportunity for engagement. So use this platform to ask questions, to post comments. If there's something you're struggling with, if something that you need help with or assistance, reach out. That's what we are here for, because I guarantee you, if you have the question or you have the challenge, somebody else does also. So this is a safe environment for you to be vulnerable and to share anything, good, bad, indifferent, successes, anything, okay? And then we're going to have Q&A at the end, okay? And then you'll also have access to the training as well as the replays. They will also post in this group as well. And so before I jump in, I just want to kind of share a little bit about myself. And I titled my story how briefly, I'll tell you about my story about how my setback of high blood pressure turned into a comeback as a registered dietitian. So this is a second career for me, actually. And my health journey began in my early 30s. And out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, my blood pressure began to elevate in my early 30s. And my weight was also elevating as well. And I was working out every day. So all these things were happening while I was working out every day. And even though, and I do have a strong history of high blood pressure on my mother's side. And so I was, determined to break the family cycle. I didn't want to get on medications. And so I'm given this diagnosis of pre-hypertension. And my doctor advises me to lose 25 pounds. And I'm asked to, I was given this sheet of paper and a list of sodium foods or high sodium foods that I should avoid. And so I dodged the bullet temporarily. My doctor said, hey, I'm gonna give you 3 months to try to correct the problem with diet, lifestyle changes, and before we even talk about medication. So I was like, okay, feeling a little fearful. This is around 2001, and I would never forget getting in my car feeling disbelief. And I was feeling scared because that was the first time I ever went to the doctor, had unfavorable news, and I was in complete denial about the fact that I needed to lose weight. And so the weight had kind of slowly, gradually came on. It was really unnoticed to me. And then on top of that, I was exercising. So I have proof that you can't outwork out a bad diet if you're not eating good. And so at this stage of my life, I was still in IT. I was a computer programmer. And so at that time, I didn't have any formalized training in health and nutrition and things of that nature. So, I went out to the internet and did my search to try to figure out what do I need to do to lose this weight, to specifically really lower my blood pressure. That was really what scared me most. And I thought, I thought I was eating pretty healthy, but I realized that I was not. I was actually eating pretty nutrient poor. I was eating things that were fairly high in sodium, even though I didn't eat out on a regular basis, even though I wasn't eating frozen meals and things like that. But I still was eating more than what I should, basically. And after 3 long years of me trying to lose these 25 pounds on my own, I had to reach out and get help. I got help from a dietitian, and this was my first really exposure to a dietitian. And based on her direction, she helped to fine tune a lot of the things that I was doing and tweaking some things that I was doing to help me to actually lose the weight, 20 pounds in 3 months, where I was trying to do it in 3 years. And not only that, she gave me the tools on how to keep it off. Okay, because we have our ebbs and flows in life, and we have our different stressors in life. And so it's really important to know how to navigate through that. And when we do kind of fall off, we try not to let that falling off period last too long to where it doesn't do as much damage. And so my mission for each and every one of you and your family is to get healthy, is to lose weight in a way that it doesn't feel like a diet, doesn't feel restrictive. And we want to be able to manage our health. We want to feel good about ourselves. And so that's really what it's all about in a form of a lifestyle. That's something that you can sustain no matter what. And as you will see, I have the same struggles that you and everybody else does. I have the same challenges. I have to commit. I have to have discipline. And I have to do the same things that you do on a regular basis. And some days I have good days and some days are not so good. But the goal is you want your good days to outweigh the not so good days. Okay. And so hopefully that, it's a short snippet, but hopefully it will at least share and give you the journey that I have been through some things. And a lot of things that you hear me talk about is because I've been there and I've done that. Okay. So post if you are inspired and if you're just ready to do this, really. If we're ready to do this, we're going to have fun over the next few days. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about first is the pre-assessment form. And so you will receive this in your email soon. You may start getting it tonight, but you will receive it fairly soon. And I would love for you to fill this out. This is really about assessing our audience and assessing those who are participating. And there's a few short questions, and it helps to set a baseline of where we are. And I like to tailor these challenges specifically to my audience and the conditions and concerns that they have. And so I ask that you fill this out prior to the challenge. It's real short. It's online. It's a Google form, and then we'll go from there. And you may need to check your spam, but your information will remain anonymous. Okay. So if that's doable, please do that for me, please. I appreciate that. And so now let's talk about the guidebook. Okay, let's talk about the guidebook. This is this is your roadmap for these 3 days. Okay, and it opens up with, I'm gonna go through it with you. It opens up with first it's going to give you a summary, kind of like an introduction as to why we're doing this challenge and making sure that you know when things are kicking off, and you're already part of the Facebook group, so you don't have to join that. But if you know somebody or you have some friends that are participating, make sure that they join the Facebook group so they can get the information and they can actually see the live training as well. But when we look at the meal plan brief, which is the part in the beginning, you will see where it has your grocery list. And I advise you to look at the grocery list as well as look at the recipes itself, because each recipe has a note section. And so I recommend going through that, because those areas will have substitutions for things that are in the actual recipe list. And so you may have this stuff. Okay. So you don't want to buy anything unless you need to buy stuff. Okay. And so definitely check those two areas out, the actual note section in the actual recipe itself, and then also look in the meal brief in the beginning, because I also kind of give some information in addition to what's in the recipe. So just kind of check it out, and then make sure if you really need to go shopping and buy these particular items. And then you're going to have a prep guide. And so the prep guide is for those who are not so kitchen savvy, or you just want to have a roadmap. Because one of the things that I would like for people to get out of this is seeing the power of prepping and planning in advance. Okay. Because a lot of times people, they find this task real daunting, having to think about what to eat and how to plan it and having time to prep it and put it all together. And so this lays it all out for you. So you're not cooking everything on one day, and you're not having to cook a whole lot of stuff every single day either. And so it's spread out. It will give you an ideal of kind of how to pace yourself, and realizing that you don't have to prep for 7 days in order to make this thing happen. And then you will realize the benefits of grabbing and going. All about grabbing and going. And so as many things that you can just grab and stick in the microwave and grab and eat, it makes things so much easier when your day becomes hectic, especially when things come up unexpectedly. Then you're like, wow, I already have this prepared. I can just have it. So hopefully so that's one of the benefits that I would love for you to really realize. And then the recipe note section, definitely look at that for time-saving tips and things like that. So it's a lot of little nuggets to try to make this process even easier for you. And then in some cases, you'll have opportunity for leftovers. And so when you see the area in the grid, I'll talk about that in a minute, grayed out, that means it's leftover. So it's not nothing you're cooking again. So you're taking advantage of stuff that you've already prepared. Okay. And so you're gonna really take advantage of that on days 2 and 3. And then and again, the food substitution section, there are some helpful tips there for food substitutions, as well as so you may not need to buy anything, but if you don't see something, do not hesitate to reach out. Okay. So you can post in this thread from this particular video, or just do a post, a brand new post about any questions that you have. And I'm monitoring it, my team is monitoring it, so we will be able to address any questions that you have. So don't feel like you have to try to figure this out on your own. Okay. And then we have the meal plan grid. I'm looking at this as well with you, and this is kind of how you can see everything that's laid out for the whole 3 days. So this is from a visual learner, so you can see all the breakfasts and snacks and lunches and things like that. So you can see everything laid out for you. And then again, things that are grayed out, or those are things that you've already prepared, they're leftovers. Okay. So Sunday prep. So that's kind of the typical prep day, but we're starting on a Tuesday. So depending on your schedule, some things maybe you can prep on Tuesday, or maybe you want to wait till Monday. So it just kind of depends. I like to give you that option so you don't feel like you have to do everything on Sunday when you're not really going to start eating it until Tuesday. And so, but sometimes people's Mondays are very, very hectic. So just kind of gauge it off of your schedule when you plan and when you prep things. Okay. And so some of the notes here about the prep, especially if you're doing it on a Sunday, the salmon, you want to just kind of keep it in the freezer, because you're going to take that out later and thaw it out later. Sunday or even Mondays, that's when you can make your soup. Okay. It's very easy. It doesn't take a lot of time to make. So it's not one that's real labor intensive by no means, but you will definitely want to make that in advance. And then you can separate them out of containers. So again, grab and go. So you really take advantage of that grab and go with lunches. And then your berries, your fruit, your yogurt and your berries. This is something that I recommend preparing in advance, either on Sunday or Monday. And what I do is, it's the plain yogurt, but if you buy the frozen fruits, like the mixed berries frozen, then what I do is I put the frozen berries on top of the plain, and so it has time to thaw. And so by the time it thaws out, and the juices from the berries and all that kind of stuff, and by the time you stir it up, then it's no longer plain yogurt. So you're not going to be eating, so you're not going to eat just plain yogurt, because I know that is not the most desirable thing all the time. But when you have it allow the fruit, the frozen fruit, to thaw on top of it, then it will taste just like a fruit flavored yogurt. So definitely take advantage of that. So that's one of my favorite snacks. And then we will talk about, let's see here. So there's so we will not, yeah, okay. So I see what's going on here. And then we have our rice cakes, and you have your hummus and things like that. So you can prepare, kind of depends on your schedule. If you want to cut the apples in advance, if you want to have the hummus prepared in little containers in advance. So things of that nature. So it kind of depends on your schedule. With your crackers and avocado, you can kind of have the avocado in a separate container. So when you're ready to put them on your crackers, you can do that. So there's ways to make that easier for you. So it just really depends on your schedule and things like that. But try to prep as much of that stuff as possible to where it's very easy for you. Maybe you can put the rice cakes and crackers in Ziploc bags, so they're already prepared. So you're not trying to pull them out of the actual packaging, especially if you work from home. So even if you work from home, you still want to prep. You still want to prepare, because we tend to think that, oh, I'm home, it's easier, but it's actually you're more on the go when you're at home, in my opinion, than when you're in the office. And so you want to grab and go, because it's very easy to get caught up in a Zoom meeting and things of that nature, and then you don't eat, and then the fact that it's not prepared, then you find yourself like, still kind of in a crunch. So still prepare when you're at home. I always give advice to my clients: still pack your lunches, still pack your snacks as if you are putting it in your lunchbox and you're taking it to an actual physical office. So still prepare things, even if you work from home. Okay. And so we want this to grab and go as much as possible. Okay. And so I just really want to get you started for Tuesday. Okay. Breakfast, usually that's on demand. So breakfast I usually do is very easy. You may want to have your ingredients kind of already ready for you in the refrigerator, but I like to have a nice hot breakfast. So you don't have to do that in advance. So it just kind of depends on your schedule, and you may just need to wake up a little bit early in order to make it happen. but you can prepare your yogurt and your soup and your crackers. And then the dinner, that's a slow cooker. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to do in advance too. So either on a Sunday or Monday. So unless you're working from home and you can put it on earlier in the day, then you want to have your slow cooker meatballs prepared in advance. Okay. Quinoa, you can do that when it's time to eat dinner. Okay, so if any questions pop up on that, do not hesitate to chime in. So I'm looking for questions if anything pops up. And so timing of the meals, okay? So this is something that's important, okay? So you notice there's no times. It just has breakfast, snack one, snack two, because again, everybody's schedule is different. And so with breakfast, you want to start eating, you want to have breakfast within 2 hours of rising. So whatever time you wake up, then that's the time that you want to have your breakfast. So the earlier the better. I give that 2 hour window, but the earlier the better. Okay. So if you can do it within an hour, perfect. Okay. And then lunch. Okay. So you time your lunch around 4 hours. Give yourself around a 4 hour window. Okay. 3.5, 4 hour window. And depending on how early your breakfast is, that first snack, that snack one, which I call your morning snack, maybe it's optional. Okay, it's optional. It depends, because if you eat a later breakfast, then maybe 4 hour mark is it's lunchtime. Okay, but if you're eating an early breakfast like 6 o'clock in the morning, then at 10, around 10ish, you should have a snack. So it really depends on your schedule. Okay, but think about that 3.5 to 4 hour window. What time is it? Is it time? Is it lunchtime for you or not? If it's not lunchtime for you, then have the snack. Know that you can swap your snacks, so you don't have to have the yogurt in the morning and the crackers in the afternoon. You can switch them around if you would like to do that. So that's perfectly fine. The key is just getting it in. And then lunchtime, I strive to have lunch during lunch hours. Okay. So I know some people like to have, oh, my lunch is at 2, but strive to have your lunch around lunch hours, especially if you're working, 8 to 5 type job. And so, and then your afternoon snack, this one is mandatory. Okay. I say this is mandatory because one mistake that people make is they will not eat anything between lunch and dinner. And so they go into dinner starving, or they're driving home starving, or they don't even make it home because they stop at a drive-through because nothing's prepared, et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of a domino effect. So you definitely want to have the afternoon snack. And so time it, you can do that 3.5, 4 hour mark after your lunch, but I usually say around between 3 and 4 is a good time to have that afternoon snack. And that is what's going to help get you to dinner without going into dinner starving. Okay. So think about that. So that's kind of the routine that you want to kind of try to build. That kind of starts the process of having or building those healthy eating habits. Okay. So you want to fuel your body regularly throughout the day. Of course, stay hydrated with your water throughout the day as well. Okay. So any questions on that, don't hesitate to chime in. And then some housekeeping on how the challenge will run, just to kind of give you some ideas of what to expect. Okay. And so I love engagement. So this is your platform. Post pictures, post videos, post comments, just post your experiences as you're going through your day, like you're sending a text, as you are going through your meals, as you're even this weekend, as you're shopping, as you're prepping. Feel free to take pictures, do videos, talk about some things. Okay. If you have questions during your shopping, excellent. Do that. Okay. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, because I want this experience to be a good journey for you. Okay. And so it increases motivation when we're all chiming in, and usually we're all going through the same thing. And so you will see some posts that will, like some check-in posts twice a day. So usually around 9 in the morning, and then usually around 7 in the evening, just to kind of see how dinner went and lunch went, and then the morning post as well. So feel free to comment on those posts. We'll ask about how'd you like the meal, how'd it taste, and things of that nature. How'd you sleep? So various questions will come up. How's your mood? How's your energy level? So we want to kind of get feedback as we're going through the challenge, just to see where you need support and or where you need encouragement. So don't feel like you got to do this by yourself. And I'm doing the challenge with you. So I'm shopping this weekend, and I'm going to do the same prepping and things that you all are doing. So I'm going to experience the same things as you are as well. Okay. And then we're going to have live training every single day at 12:30. Okay, every single day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm going to go live here. Normally on Tuesday, I'm live on my biz page, but for this week or for next week rather, is only in the private group. Okay, and so mark your calendars. Even if you can't stay the whole time, that's great. Even if you have to tune in late, that's great. But please try to make an effort to tune in and participate live. It does make a difference. Even though the replays are available, it just makes a difference when you're on live. And so definitely please take advantage of that opportunity. And then we can, like I said, you can address things in real time. And it just makes it more fun when you're able to participate in real time. Okay. And so I'm gonna have a different topic every single day. And in your guidebook, it does goes over which topic. We're gonna talk about coffee on the first day, talk about your mojo and how that impacts sugar cravings. And so that's always a good and popular topic. But we're going to have a different topic every day that's kind of related to the challenge to help give you some insight and give you some solid, sound information regarding nutrition. Okay. And so that is really all I have for you. I wanted to help get you started and get you going. If you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to reach out. This is about having fun. It's about trying new foods, trying new combination of foods, and just having fun and really monitoring your body and just to see how things change. And you're surprised at what can happen in just 3 short days. And so it's all about keeping your bodies ready. You want to stay armed. You want to stay on top of things. You want to keep your immune system strong. You want to keep your blood pressure in order and your sugar levels in order. And you want to use food as medicine. Okay, I'm a firm believer that food is medicine, and when it's done right, it protects you from a lot of things. Okay, a lot of things, not just colds, but different chronic diseases and degenerative diseases and different cancers and stuff. So food is medicine when it's done right. Okay. And so again, we're talking about creating a lifestyle of self-care in 2023. And we're going to continue to piggyback on last year's theme, breaking the food strongholds, because all that stuff feeds into our food choices. And so we want to make sure that we are whole from a total body perspective. Okay. So this is just the beginning of getting back on track with your health and your weight loss goals. And this is a great start. And I thank you so much for participating. And I'm excited to go to travel on this journey with you. And if you have any questions that pop up after this live, don't hesitate to post in the thread. Okay. So you all have a great evening. I will look for posts over the weekend because I know you all are shopping. And usually when we're shopping, that's when questions pop up. But until then, we will see each other live again on Tuesday, and have a great rest of your night and week and weekend. Bye bye.